Alright guys, welcome to the Blue January Cup number 2. My name is Peter Canapa Hartnell, joined by Jesper Dielerskanz for today's competition. Jesper, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Canapa. How about you?
You know, it's a little late here in the UK. I know it's a little bit later in Daneland. But we've got ourselves... Yeah, Daneland, that's the name of the place, ain't it?
No, it's Denmark.
So, in Daneland, the happiest place in the world,
Sure. Okay.
we've got ourselves 8 teams playing today, and what a fantastic lineup we have for all you fine people.
First up, it's Revolution versus Frankenstein. Revolution from Japan, and Frankenstein representing France, even though we do have some players from other countries such as Iraq and Turkey. Just below them, it is number 1 and Enigma. Number 1 is from Iraq and Enigma is from Mexico. Below them, Asinomoto from Japan going up against Muso from the United States of America. Then just below them again, it's Oblivious Allies against Team NASA. Once again, Japan versus not North America, the United States of America.
Yeah, gotta remember our Canadian broskies, as I believe we have got our first pass key of the day, so we'll be jumping into our first ESL competition. So we will of course as well be starting up our giveaways as always. First one on Twitch, hashtag RO16, over on our Twitch page, which is twitch.tv/Modern Combat. You can win yourself a little present of 300 credits for entering in. We'll have giveaways on each one of the different platforms that we are broadcasting to over the course of today. For now though, let's get the details of that actually up on the screen. But yes, Deedless. So now we know what teams that we've got coming in today. One of the particular match which we're looking to bring up first, the Revolution versus Frankenstein. Actually 2 pretty powerful teams, even though Frankenstein are coming in as the number 8 seed.
Frankenstein, they are a team that consistently participate in the iOS Cups, and now I'm a bit surprised that they are seeded so low as they are, because they are a very good team. But having to face Revolutions here in the first match of today could very well mean that they aren't going to go too far in today's tournament.
Yes, a lot of time it is just a matter of how long it takes before you run into a team that you just can't get past. But hey, we never know. In these tournaments we can get surprised again and again. I think our first lobby is up, so we'll pop across there in just a second. We'll of course be having ourselves various different community games as and when we can fit those in, alongside the giveaways. So we're fitting in a bit of Battle Royale, a few team games, some free-for-alls, some death matches, and perhaps some other stuff as and when the situation allows. But for now guys, we're going to get set up for our first game, so we'll be right back just a moment. When the players are all ready to begin, we'll get things kicked off. Alright. We've got ourselves our first game of the day. Frankenstein in the blue. Revolution over in the red.
That's right, Confit. You have completely determined which team is on the left and which team is on the right. But but Frankenstein and Re-Evolution going up here. Re-Evolutions coming in as the first seeded team, so well, they're coming out from a good start. Xiang picking up 2 kills with a grenade.
Yeah, very well placed in close quarters. So something we saw from the PC Cup was we're seeing a lot more of the assault coming in, and the tier 7 assault weapon also starting to see a little bit of play. Has got the lava camo recently, so it's attracted a little bit more attention, and competing for space with the Cog V.
Cog V as a weapon is probably the most used weapon for the assault class. However, it does kill people a little less faster than that sniper rifle, but it's good in all ranges, and in particular in long to mid range where snipers they tend to kick butt in short.
Worth noting that Xianji, of course, rocking the heavy class, didn't come with that weapon equipped, but instead has harvested it from the bodies of the fallen.
That's always a good way to find good weapons. That's usually what I do when we're playing the Android Cups.
Use the bodies of your enemies as a weapon. You should join Frankenstein.
Well, that is surely a way to play the game for Re-Evolutions. They are not...
Kyo just murdered everyone with the support class. I think I've said this before, but the weapon that Kyo is using is actually one of my favourite weapons because its clip size is ludicrous. The Hauser can keep firing for like a good 20 seconds straight. So you can miss a lot and still kill people.
So it basically enhances your strength to not hit anything, but then suddenly with you having such a big clip size, well then you might actually hit something.
Yeah.
But anyway, for Revolution they are currently ahead by 5 kills. Looking up Xiang, finding 9 kills on his own. He's doing quite well for his team, making sure that they are sticking to Frankenstein, who are also doing quite well for themselves, finding a lot of kills, but not quite the same capacity as Re-Evolution.
Yes. Fort, the one to keep an eye on from the Frankenstein side of things, with the Golden Imp putting that to great use in the close quarters. We can see the Slack, the Heavy in general, picking up a lot of play recently, but the multi-grenade aspect of the assault is also proving itself worthwhile, leading us to basically a lot of explosions all the time.
And who doesn't like explosions? They can sometimes be very pretty, but in this game, I don't think that is going to be the thing that we're going to have to look out for the most. What I'm thinking, however, Counterfeit, is that BSW coming in from fall, because that is one of my favorite weapons. Having that bolt action sniper rifle, being able to do a one-shot, one-kill, is always interesting to see.
Yes, it is going to be punishing though in close quarters against the more, well, automatic weapon if you miss that first shot, but Fort doesn't tend to miss many shots, and it is allowing for the Frankenstein team to catch up on Re-Evolution most of the way, so it's a lot closer than it would have been before, but Xianji doing a fantastic job of blowing up everything before finally getting taken down. I think has done enough, yes, with Sekai finishing off the job.
And that is going to make Revolution our winner here of the first game in this best of 3. There's still at least one more game to be played between Frankenstein and Revolution, but that was a good game. Frankenstein, they kept up for a long time, and even though they statistically are the worst team, they actually did pretty well.
Well, as I said, you know, they've been around the block more than a few times, just waiting for an opportunity to take down a big team, and this time round they got relatively close, only 5 kills separating. If it hadn't been for the very strong performance from Xianji, it could have ended up very differently. For now though, we will be getting it set up for our second encounter, so please do stay tuned. Twitch giveaway remains open for the time being, so get your entries in. Hashtag RO16. And we shall return after the break with more MC5. Welcome back, everybody. Our first round of ESL competition continues as Frankenstein go up against Revolution once more. First game decided by merely 5 points. Can Frankenstein, the underdogs in this series, come back and recover, bringing things to game 3?
That's the answer that we're hopefully going to see here in our game 2. Revolution and Frankenstein. Game 1 was very close, counterfeit, and I'm sure Frankenstein, they now have some blood that they want to spill on Revolution. They want to kill them. They want to fight back.
Yeah, it's certainly pretty close considering, as you mentioned, the vastly different seedings between the two teams. A quick look into Frankenstein's past history. Let's see. So, yes, so Frankenstein, winners of 2 tournaments in a row before losing out to Revolutions in our last cup at the very beginning of January. So a rematch between these two. Revolution managed to stop the dominance of Frankenstein, but can they do it one more time and really cement their position atop the throne?
For now, it's a very slow game. It hasn't broken open yet. They are just trading kills here and there, and we only have a total of 8 kills. But here we go. It's getting faster and faster as we do see the Frankenstein members just move into that main building that Revolution they currently are occupying.
Let's take a look at where those numbers are dropping. Helix getting it right into the center of action. Almost as many kills as Death, but suddenly accelerating the game quite dramatically. Firing the imp at the floor there, a sensible move when your opponents are moving in too wriggly a fashion to reliably land the body shot.
Frankenstein and Revolution is very close, kind of it. 12 to 12, and 5 minutes left to go.
Fort, remember from last time round, being the big banana for the Frankenstein side of things, with your ever-beloved BSW, trying to snap far off and takes out Xianji as well, so Frankenstein putting themselves in a good position on the construction site to control the space and get Fort into a position where they can hit from above.
Sometimes having the higher ground is the best way to go if you want to win these one-on-ones. At least we saw that in the prequel movie Rise of the Sith.
Yes, I believe that was the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito.
I think you're thinking of a Batman movie.
A Batman.
Yeah, where it was Iceman against the Penguin. But anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about Frankenstein, which is obviously a very different movie.
It's true, the movie that's playing out right now seems to be pretty Frankenstein favored. You mentioned Frankenstein Squad identifying as a French team, but with players from all over the place, all over different parts of Europe. Looking pretty good right now. Let's have a look and see. So Helix from much early on. Okay, so I've mentioned this a few times, but it's worth restating. So Frankenstein have got the perfect combination. They've got Helix, who gets as many kills as they get deaths, but just accelerates the game towards its end. But then they've got, who's the person? Bleach, team captain I believe, who's got this amazingly good KDA. And that's all you need. One person to accelerate the game, one person to play out the game more cautiously. And with a good KDA, you'll stay ahead.
In the mid game, it is very much, as you said, about just having that one guy who could have accelerated the game. And for Frankenstein, it was Bleach. And Revolution, they haven't been able to just keep up with the pace that Bleach has set for this game. 8 kills is currently what he has, and he has a accuracy of 34%. That is quite a high accuracy.
A team manager of the Frankenstein first squad, which is the team you're seeing it playing here today, certainly looking pretty confident in this second game, even knowing that they're fighting for their tournament lives right now.
Frankenstein definitely have their back against the wall, but it's looking like they might be able to get away from that wall, as they are very close to just getting to that 50 kill mark. But Revolution, they're biting back. They're only 2 kills behind. Make that 1 kill, as a huge amount of kills just come in immediately for Revolution.
Frankenstein have been ahead for a long time, but yeah, just like that, I think it was maybe 6-7 kills in a row for the Revolution side of things. It's going to get very close up towards the end. The player to watch, of course, going to be these big playmakers all the way through the game. But Bleach, you'd have to imagine, are going to be the one who's either going to finish it off for the Frankenstein side or fall down.
Frankenstein, they just need 1 more kill, and there we go. It is going to be Helix finding it. And well, we get an identical score this time around, just positive for Frankenstein, as they bite back and they equalize the score here. 1-1 against Frankenstein. Sorry, against Revolution.
So let's analyze from the previous games. So we've got Xianji. This time around, didn't have the amazing score from before. But Helix, you saw that towards the end of that game, was starting to actually take more deaths than they had kills. So the chance for Revolution to come back into that was pretty strong. I think there's going to be a very interesting Game 3 coming up just after the break. So guys, stay tuned. Twitch giveaway remains in place for now, but we will be ending that pretty darn soon. Get in your hashtag RO16s while you can, and we'll see you in just a few minutes' time. Alright guys, we are back with our decider game between Frankenstein and Re-Evolution. Advantage our destination. Re-Evolution. Over on the right hand side, on the red team, Frankenstein sporting the blue.
Frankenstein, they won game 2 and now they have to show the world that they can win 2 games in a row and they can completely fight back against Revolution. We're gonna have to watch out for Shang-Chi though, because he is certainly the big star player from Revolution. Managed to find a lot of kills in game 1 and also put up quite a performance in game 2.
But what better of a message for Frankenstein to send than to have their star player take out Re-Evolution's star player from afar to get first blood.
Ford and Bleach are definitely one of the best, well, 2 of the best players on Revolution. Now, Shang-Chi finding a kill onto Ford is biting back, so these 2 guys, they have just been trading kills. But this game is looking to be a game of sniper rifles, as it is ERGs and imps coming out. Also a few BSWs around here and there coming out in this game. People, they're just looking for those 1-shot and 1 kills. 1-shot, 1 kills.
Kills is all what it is about. As Helix is going to get stuck in as well. Remember them from the game before. Was the one who accelerated progress as Kyo making good use of that slack, looking for the floor bang to try and break through and pick up a few more cheeky kills. But Frankenstein, they take the lead for themselves in the early going, thanks to Noctis and the rest of the team. But we know that from the Re-Evolution side of things, the game can turn around extremely quickly.
And that is just how Mortal Kombat 5 certainly is kind of fit. Games, they can swing in terms of momentum extremely fast just because one big push comes out from either team. Right here you can see how Revolution, they just picked up 4 kills in a row and are now sitting very well ahead.
Re-Evolution doing a pretty nice job in the early going. Let's see. So, yes, Rika. I don't think we've kind of really got a sense of them in the previous games. Let's see, what icon are they using? It's a little bit too dead at the moment to tell. There we go. With the imp doing a nice job. So we mentioned the floor bangs before, so that's firing an explosive at the floor because the AoE actually travels through the floor itself to damage those above. Rika's taking advantage of the imp having those explosive rounds. I don't know how much or how effective that is as a strategy, but going by their score, I would probably assume that anything they are doing is probably a good idea.
Usually seeing someone rack up a lot of kills is a sign of it being very effective. I am also spotting a few DBS 4 and Slack 7Hs around here and there. Just seeing the heavy class come in. Right here, Shang-Chi rocking that DBS 4. Looking for those shotgun kills, but will ultimately be knifed down by Bleach.
The old knife to meet ya. Bleach not finding the heights from the previous games though. This is kind of something which we see across a lot of the games being played, is that you'll kind of have one player sort of standing out per game, but it will tend to not be the same one each time, as the different maps favour the different kinds of players and the different play styles that are optimal.
It's looking like we're gonna come down to the very last kill here in this deciding match kind of fit. Revolution and Frankenstein, they're trading kills here and there, but only 3 kills are overall the deciding factor between Revolution and Frankenstein.
Now Shen-Ji starting to pick up a little bit for the Revolution side of things. But we'll have to keep our eyes on Helix. Certainly a popular play in the chat with Maxwell MC5, and picking up some real nice kills for the Frankenstein side of things. Actually pushes them into the lead as we cross the 3 minutes remaining mark.
Between Frankenstein and Revolution, it is the deciding match. This is what it comes down to. Whoever wins this game will go into the semi-final. For now, it's looking like it's just going to be so close between these 2 guys. Bombers being deployed will make the difference. Hopefully it will for Frankenstein, but Revolution, they're still holding on. And no kills are really separating these 2 teams now. Frankenstein finding just a bit of a lead with 4 kills coming in fast.
Whoever wins out here will go on and face against the winner of the semi-final just below them in the bracket. Number 1 versus Enigma going on right now. But you're right, it's way too close to call, especially with Fort, the big power player for the Frankenstein side, nearly getting nailed out by a grenade, which will keep them out of circulation for a bit. But they do go charging back in again against multiple Revolution members. Could be a poor idea, but with the backup from the rest of the squad.
Ooh, Shang-Chi comes in with double kill from a grenade. Shang-Chi finding 14 kills in this game. He's been doing so well for Revolution, keeping them up in this game.
Managing to back off as well when the grenades came flying back the other way. All these assaults going around certainly mean it's very tough not to get hit, but with Shang-Chi, nice long-range shot. We are going down to, I think, the last couple of kills. Shang-Chi in a good position to punish any further aggression through this route. I think Frankenstein would be best off approaching from a different angle.
Look for kills to come out from Ford. 18 kills all in all. This guy has been racking up those bodies from Revolution and making sure that Revolution, they have been suffering.
Shang-Chi picking up the Imp. Nice compliment to the Cog-V to give it a more range of effective engagement. But as the dust settles and it's 41 apiece with 1 minute left to play, both sides are fully aware of making a mistake here. Could leave them in a position where they couldn't come back when the timer runs out.
43 seconds left to go. Ford finds that kill, pushes Frankenstein in the lead, and now Revolution, they have to just lick their wounds because they have 30 seconds left to go before they need to find 2 kills as Bleach finds another kill. Now Frankenstein are sitting quite well in this game. They are the defenders, and they have the defenders buff.
Coming down to the last few moments of the extremely bloody exchange leaves Revolution slightly behind. Just a single kill could be all that decides it. A trade across keeps things dead even. Crispy picks up another. Revolution, they're desperate, and desperation will let them be played right into the hands of Frankenstein, who secure Game 3 and their ticket to the semis.
Such a beautiful last minute coming out from Frankenstein, finding those kills with those snipers, knowing that they don't need to push in because they have some kills in advantage and they will move on to the semi-final.
Let's take a look at those numbers. So, Fort pulling out an absolute overtime performance in that game, pretty much getting a Frankenstein where they needed to be, and did that for multiple games in a row, while Helix, just like before, accelerated the game up. So keep your eyes on Fort as we go forward. Revolution will have to say goodbye, but for now, let's get you guys on stream during the break itself. So while we get set up for our next ESL match, we'll let you guys play on stream. So if you want to use the passkey ESL123, I'm just setting up the game now, so you'll be able to see it on your screen. Then you can join in on the stream itself and perhaps make yourself famous, eh? Now, Deedless, if you were one of our fine viewers here today, and you were trying to, to impress people in one of these break games, what would you think would be the most effective way to do so?
If I have to what, sorry?
Impress people during the break.
Well, I have a talent for running at full speed on a treadmill while juggling 3 balls.
Oh gosh. Is there an equivalent game mechanic which you could use to demonstrate these multitasking skills?
I could be your coach, kind of it.
Ah, so you're saying you want to coach one of our players who are in the break games.
Yeah, coach them in how to run at full speed while juggling a bunch of balls.
Oh gosh. Well,
I think that's an impressive skill to have, especially when you're playing a shooting game.
I mean, I would have thought it would be... I mean, honestly, I'm not a coach. I don't understand the intricacies of the coaching procedure. I know you've coached me to my Battle Royale success. I know now, I don't know if you guys are aware, but I'm now the best Battle Royale on the planet, thanks to Deedless's kind coaching, and maybe you could be too. If you enjoy juggling, then perhaps you could seek out Deedless and his amazing coaching skills. Gumball. So if any of you guys who weren't here for the PC stream a little earlier today, Gumball has started up a rivalry with my co-caster D-List, so watch out for Gumball. Full of fight! And I can't remember, who killed the other one in the...
In the 1v1, that was Gumball. He won.
That's true.
5-3.
Well, it's time for some revenge, perhaps.
Yes, please.
Alright guys, we'll be headed to break while we get set up for our next ESL game, which should be Gamuzo versus the Oblivious Allies. We'll be back in a few minutes with that. Welcome back one and all. We are going into our next encounter. A battle between Gamuzo and the Oblivious Allies. A strange name if I've ever heard one, but we'll see what they're made of.
It is our first semi-final of the day, guys. So get your bets in. Is it going to be Gamuzo winning or Oblivious Allies? We are starting here on Museum. So it's going to be interesting to see who will take our first victory. Is it going to be the Japanese squad of Oblivious Allies or the United States of America squad coming in from Gamuzo? For now, it's Oblivious Allies coming out, swinging out of the gates.
We will be drawing our Twitch giveaway at the end of this game, so get in your last entries while you can. Twitch.tv/ModernCombat. Hashtag RO16 if you want to enter in for our first of our 4 giveaways over the course of today. Museum. Quite a fun map. A lot of different kinds of environments within its bounds, but also a lot of similarity across the 2 different parts of the map. So both teams kind of getting their chance to play in the environment of their choice.
Now, for Oblivious Allies, we're not seeing a lot of aggression coming up from them. Can you show us a bigger screen of the map so we can see how the 2 teams, they are just dividing themselves? You can see how Gamuzo, they're keeping all the way down to the south, but Oblivious Allies, they're flanking from both sides. They're trying to sandwich them in.
And it's not a delicious sandwich which the Oblivious Allies are attempting to offer. It is a pincer maneuver, which is a pretty hard thing to pull off, to attack from 2 sides at exactly the same moment and not just have the opposing side turn around and kill each branch of your offense as it comes in.
They're trying to crimp around Gamuso, Oblivious Allies that is, but Gamuso, they're not falling for it, they're not pushing out. They are sticking together as a team and just waiting for Oblivious Allies to come in and try to pinch around them.
See people getting a little heated in the YouTube chat. We can only ask you guys to please be respectful. We'll have to start throwing around a few timeouts and things. If you guys want to have a energetic discussion, that's fine, but you know, keep it civil.
Keep it civil indeed now. Counterfeit. No kills are coming out quite... Oh, sorry, kills are indeed coming out. I did not see that aggression coming out from Oblivious Allies, but they put themselves ahead and in the lead by finding 8 kills overall. But Gamuso, they're fighting back. Here comes the assault rifles with the Cock V MLT. Finding a few kills here and there. 2 kills overall, but surely enough to make sure that Gamuso aren't falling too far behind.
What a contrast from the earlier game. Both teams deciding, this whole trying to be tactical and sneaky thing isn't really working out for either of us. So how about we just launch each other at each other full speed and attempt to tear each other's throats out.
Gamuso, however, they fight back and they are now pulling themselves ahead. Airstrikes being deployed from Gamuso. But Oblivious Allies, they're not giving up quite yet. Apollo finds a kill. And here comes Lumbo also finding a kill.
Proper run and gun up and down this corridor of the museum. A lot of terrain there to block line of sight, so you can be right next to someone but not within line of sight of them. And the Oblivious Allies, they close the gap between the two teams pretty rapidly, erasing it as we come across the halfway mark of this first semi-final game.
It's very close between these two teams. 3 minutes left to go, and we're not even halfway in terms of kills. Counterfeit, I don't think we're gonna see 50 kills in this game.
I think it's extremely unlikely, which means that every single kill is gonna count. Gamuso doing a nice job of slowing the pace down a bit and just picking the kills as and when they can. I think the Oblivious Allies need to start bringing things back up to the frenetic pace of before, just absolutely throwing themselves into the teeth of the enemy. Seems like it favors, well, I guess both teams somewhat equally, but I feel like Oblivious Allies, certainly in the slower pace game, are not coming out so well.
Oblivious Allies, they are starting to fall back, but as I say that, they do find 2 kills on their own. 2 minutes and 20 seconds left to go, Counterfeit. Gamuso are about to reach that halfway point.
Dumbo doing a fantastic job in this game. I think pretty much carrying the Gamuso team by themselves. Now, Dealers, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the old movie about the little elephant with the big ears, but Dumbo seems to have big hopes for the Gamuso team.
Oh yeah, I thought that was the B. Okay, it is apparently Dumbo. Dumbo is doing his best job at just trying to keep Gamuso off the ground. Has found 9 kills on his own. Big performance behind this a big elephant.
Big elephant, big heart, big ears. All the good for hearing the enemy coming, but unfortunately for the Oblivious Allies, it's not looking so good. Dylan and you can see SOF, their top scoring players, both with very minimal KDAs, dying a lot in all of these exchanges, doing their best to catch up, but 3 kills or 1 or 100, it's all the same when the timer runs out.
Guys, be nice in the chat or we will have to time out you. I've just timed out a few people here and there because you are not being nice to each other. So guys, please behave so that we can all have a nice stream together now. Back to the game, Gamuso, Oblivious Allies, Gamuso. They are very far ahead, to say the least.
Yep, a clean 5, make it 6 kills as MIT doing a nice job from afar with the sniper. Down low, it's just escaped out the back end, and it's looking like, with Dumbo's performance continuing to impress from the Gamuso side, everything else could be the same, but without Dumbo, having this incredible 9-to-1 KDA, I think the Oblivious Allies would probably be winning this game.
Dumbo certainly is a big stopper for the Oblivious Allies' dream, but the game isn't quite over yet. We have 8 seconds and 1 kill separating Oblivious Allies and Gamuso. But Gamuso finds that kill and 2 seconds left to go. Can we see the last push coming out? No. Gamuso, they will win this game 45-43.
Wow, it doesn't get much closer than that though. The Oblivious Allies almost managed to bring it right back at the end there. You can see Apollo, actually, wow, that's interesting, managed to get the most kills. Or at least I presume, yes, the most. Oh, that's interesting actually, didn't get the most score. I wonder why they're up at the top of the scoreboard. I suppose it's because Gamuso themselves won. I say this to note that Dylan actually had the most kills and the highest score in the game, and SOF. So some very good players over on the Oblivious Allies team, but ultimately their team overall not performing quite up to the level of Gamuso. So, we're going to find out our Twitch winner, and it's going to be, oh boy, you're going to like this dealers, it's going to be Go4MC5. So, Gumball, please post your dog tag and platform. And we're going to open up our Facebook giveaway. So, head across to facebook.com/Modern Combat, find the current video, and then just enter in #quarter into the Facebook comments if you want to enter in. We'll keep that going for the time being, but it will only be open for a little bit, so get your entries in while you can, and we shall return with our next game after the break. Welcome back, one and all. Our next encounter between Gamuzo and the Oblivious Allies. Pretty darn close in game number 1. Now we head on to rooftops for number 2.
Now it's time to see who will control the rooftops, Counterfeit, as rooftops is all about control over rooftops. So let's see who's going to control the rooftops. That's a lot of rooftops. Do you like the rooftops?
Not as much as you do, apparently. But we'll have to see who comes out of this second game of this semi-finals with the fond memories of this map. Will it be Gamuzo again managing to cinch out the game, or will the Oblivious Allies show up and show off some of what they brought up in the very end of that last game?
For now, it's looking like Gamuzo will control the rooftop. So for Oblivious Allies, it is on them to try and push out, to try and look for those kills. As Gamuzo, they have some holes in the rooftop that they can look for kills through. But with them having the higher ground, they do have the small advantage.
So a few of you guys have noticed Soldier Girl back in as our admin for today. So if you see her in the YouTube chat or anywhere else, please do say hi. Running everything behind the scene and making sure our games actually happen. Couldn't do it without our ESL admins. But this game, yeah, has really kind of become much more static after that initial burst of kills. Surprising considering how brutal things got later on between these two.
It's cool to see how these two teams, they aren't playing very dynamic, that they are just playing very slow, that they're not going for those fast pushes where everyone is going in, but it's just all about individual outplays, looking for those individual kills. As I say that, Dumbo and MLT, they do find some kills, and now Gamuzo, they do have a 2-kill lead. But I suspect that we're not going to see this game be a fast-paced one like it was last game. It was very slow, and I'm probably sure we're going to see the same.
We'll do this. We're spending a little bit of time with Dumbo from the previous round and say MVP for Gamuzo. Does take a grenade to the feet. Now, D-list, I don't know if you remember the story of Dumbo, but Dumbo had a pretty tough childhood, perhaps the same for this player here. Whereas in one instance it drew them to becoming a circus performer to provide for their family, in this alternate timeline it turned them into a murderous MC5 player. And I ask you, which of these two timelines is preferable?
Well, I quite like the Disney timeline, but I must say that you are very creative. Though I must ask you, how does an elephant play on a tablet? Because I would suspect that that elephant would break a lot of tablets.
Well, you know Dance Dance Revolution?
No.
Really? Wow. Well, the you must have seen in an arcade, yeah, the dance mats or dancing rhythm games.
Oh yeah.
You just use those. If you're an elephant, you just have a really big one of those.
Ah, okay. That is interesting. I think I can visualize that. Dumbo, 4 kills on his own, has been able to step on the mat 4 times and landing those shots.
MIT also with 4 kills for the Gamuzo side. So again, we're seeing a pretty top-heavy scoreboard emerging from both sides. Lime and Mako performing similar duties for the side of the Oblivious Allies, but it's a very stop-start kind of game as both teams, you know, kind of grab a bunch of kills, back off. I think they're trying to bait in as Lime gets a really nice floor bang there. The Oblivious Allies have been making use of their low ground to actually punish Gamuzo, whose positioning is relatively predictable up on the roof.
Lime just found another grenade, and now 3 minutes and 5 seconds left to go. Oh, Gamuzo are still sitting with a 2-kill lead. But Oblivious Allies, they are finding back, and Lime, if you can find just a few more frag grenade shots through the roof, well then I'm sure the Oblivious Allies, they're not gonna fall just 2-0 in the semi-final.
Yep, Lime and those coconuts have been working pretty well so far, but the time started to run out. It's just like the previous game. No way we're hitting the time limit, the score limit before the time runs dry. It's all going to be down to those individual performances as both teams lay into each other and again are left in a situation where single kills are going to make all the difference.
18-18. 2 minutes and 15 seconds left to go, Counterfeit. It is not coming down to the wire, but it's coming down to every single kill instead. Gamuso and Oblivious Allies, we're still waiting to see them just pop up this game. MIT, having found 8 kills, Dumbo just falling a bit behind with only 4 kills on his own.
Gamuso is doing a nice job of controlling the upper bounds of the rooftop. You can see they're mostly staying off the very top, because that's where Oblivious are chucking their grenades up. And with 3 grenades apiece on the assault, it's kind of hard to not find a place on that rooftop that's exploding again and again. Apollo gets the crucial kill that pushes Gamuso ahead, and Oblivious Allies immediately will start feeling the pressure.
They certainly will, and now that's 2 kills in the lead for Gamuso. The Oblivious Allies, they have 1 minute and 20 seconds to find 4 kills as Gamuso. They just find a quick push of things. Here comes Apollo, pushing down, looking for those kills. Will not be able to find any. Oh, he will be able to find 1. Can he trade more? That's 2 kills for Apollo, popping down and really putting Gamuso ahead.
A very nice play. May well have secured Gamuso their place in our grand finals today. That's what it can come down to in these games. You know, we've got all these games over the course of the evening, all these series, but it all can come down to a single play that determines if your team goes forward or goes home.
8 kills is what Oblivious Allies they have to find, so they need to push out now. But Gamuso finding 2 kills here. That's 10 more kills than Oblivious Allies are behind. And I think that we're going to see this Japanese squad just fall straight here in the semi-final.
Yeah, I think for me, the Apollo's the standout player, broke the deadlock between the two teams, and has kept on pouring in the kills as well. We'll see if anything, well, no, we're at the point now where nothing too dramatic can happen. The Oblivious Allies will have to be aware, know that the Oblivious Allies are quite popular in the chat, but we shall see them no more.
Oblivious Allies, they do fall prey to Gamuso here in the first semi-final of the game, and Gamuso will move straight into the grand final. Their opponents are yet to be decided. Frankenstein and number 1 is still playing out their semi-final.
Alright guys, so this gives us the opportunity to get you all on stream. So, unfortunately before we did end up with our next ESL match extremely quickly, so we weren't able to actually show you guys playing on stream. We'll try and hopefully have a bit better luck this time round. So again, the passkey ESL123 or use the global chat invite. We'll start up ourselves with a free-for-all on, let's go for Vantage, just for the sake of something a little bit different. And come and show off your skills. Perhaps you too will be playing, if you're not already, in the next ESL competition based off your performance in one of these games. Alright, hopefully everything's working as it should. We'll see. We will be ending our Facebook giveaway fairly soon, so do get that in while you can. So I'm just going to quickly remake the game. This is its hiccuped a bit. And hopefully everything will be fine. Also, while we've got the chance, let's take a quick look across. So I'm going to look at who Apollo was on the Wikipedia. Let's have a quick look across at the bracket and see how things are developing. So, dealers, what have we got on the table?
For the brackets. So, well, Gamuso, they just moved into the grand final. Wait, you asked me how it's looking on the bracket, right?
Yes.
Yeah, well, Gamuso, they are moving into the grand final because they just won against Oblivious Allies. That's the game we just casted. Frankenstein and number 1 are sitting in the upper semi-final. We're still yet to figure out what is going on with these two guys, how far in they are, and if Frankenstein is going to move into the grand final.
Alright, so while we wait for that to develop, we'll hopefully get to show the other semi-final as it happens. But let's get ourselves into that break game lobby. Okay, apparently the other teams are playing game 2, so if that's another 2-0, we could actually be going straight to the finals very swiftly. So I'm going to try and get you guys in here as quick as I can. And with that in mind, we're actually going to tie up the Facebook giveaway a little earlier than we would have otherwise. So let me see who we've got as a winner. So Graham Stewart is our Facebook winner. Please post your dog tag and platform. So remember guys, if you do win one of our giveaways today, we need to get both pieces of information from you, otherwise we won't be able to get your credits sent across directly from Gameloft themselves in approximately 2 to 3 weeks time. Right, I think hopefully we've got enough players to, let's see if we can get a couple more to get ourselves started. And then we'll kick off our break game, so you guys can play during the break. We'll be still getting our stuff sorted out with the ESL during that time, so we won't be commentating. But we'll hopefully at least get enough guys to get a game for you on stream during that time. Okay, that should probably be enough. I'll throw out one more invite and get ourselves started, and we'll catch you guys the other side of the break. We return, gentle friends, with our next semi-final game. This is the decider match between Frankenstein and Number One, the game 3 on Scramble.
Number One and Frankenstein. This will be, as you said, conflict, the deciding one. Can Frankenstein, after taking down the first seeded team, move into the grand final, or will Number One, our team from Iraq, win here against Frankenstein?
So remember Taco and their good pal, the crispy delicious flavors of the Number One squad. Now, dealers, here's a little lesson in trickery. If you want to go down in history, you've got to chase the Frankenstein team all the way around the map. And it's hard to adapt lyrics on the fly.
Okay. Okay. Sure. Going back to the game, Number One, finding a lot of kills, sticking together as a team. You have 4 people just down, sticking together. And Peter, can you open up for the map so we can see where they are currently on the map? So you can see here, they are just sitting over to the southwest. Whereas Frankenstein, they're gonna have to push up against Number One. Now Number One, they're pushing out. Helix finds a kill with his pistol. Finds a double kill actually, before being taken down by veterans.
Yeah, Fort performing very well in the previous matches. I kind of feel like, you know, at a certain point melee kills either become a desperation move or kind of at best a trade. When when we're talking about teams that are as coordinated as the teams we see here, they've nearly always got a backup there. So unless the alternative is dying without getting a kill, going for a melee kill just seems to put you in a position to immediately get traded back.
Plus, it is easy to kill someone with a melee. It's just going to be you knifing them down. You don't need to hit multiple shots. So if you are in a dire situation and there's nothing else to do, then I see your point, Conflict.
Mob Crush is our current giveaway. mobcrush.com/mononcombat #semi into the Mob Crush chat. You will need a Mob Crush account, but do bear in mind it's one of the easiest platforms to win on. So if you haven't won already, or if you'd like to win again, head across there, #semi into mobcrush.com/mononcombat. Gruff, thank you for your entry already. We will be ending that Mob Crush giveaway pretty darn soon as well, so be swift and make sure that your vote is counted.
Now Frankenstein, they are sitting with a 2-kill lead. 4 minutes and 5 seconds left to go. Frankenstein, the slayer of Revolutions, the first seeded team. They want to slay another higher seeded team. But to be fair, Frankenstein being the lowest seeded team here in this tournament, are just going to be slaying all higher teams.
Yes, Frankenstein, the modern Prometheus, charging out onto the field and doing pretty darn well thanks to Fort's performance so far. As we cross the halfway mark, Number One are doing their best to catch up. Let's have a look and see. So even though Saras with a relatively humble 5 kills is still keeping that all important... Oh boy, hold the phone there. Pamela just blew everybody up.
Very well played with that airstrike coming in from Pamela. Now Number One, that's a quick succession of kills that could very well win them the game right here, as they now have a 7-kill lead and they're finding even more. The tempo has surely just gone up and Number One has surely just gotten themselves a comfortable lead.
Pamela getting a little overexcited there, but with I think very good reason. I think picked up 4 or 5 kill streak kills in a row. Very nicely executed. Number One in a comfortable position, but they cannot afford to get too comfortable or Frankenstein will go after them. Remember guys, this is the one last game to determine who else will be going through to our grand finals today. It's looking like Number One, but it could change so quickly.
Number One, they have to continue to find those kills if they want to be the Number One, if they want to be the ones going into the grand final. Frankenstein are behind 6 kills with 2 minutes and 10 seconds left to go, but Number One, with those sniper rifles and with them slowing down the pace of the game, it's looking like it could very well be a #1 victory.
Yes, for all of you #1 fans in the audience, do make yourselves known as Helix. Remember from before, the big catalyst for Frankenstein's ascension to this stage of the competition. Wait a second. We might be seeing a little bit of a comeback here.
Frankenstein not giving up at all. 42 kills to 45. Frankenstein, all they need are now just to fight back against #1. But they can't afford to give up those kills because #1 are getting extremely close to that 50 kill mark.
Fort still putting on a heroic performance for the Frankenstein squad. Trading across kills, but trades are trades, so the Frankenstein team can rarely afford to make. Fort goes to the wrong side of the tracks, comes across nearly the entire #1 squad, and just like that, Mr. Bad Rabbit puts his foot down and awards the victory and the place in the finals to #1.
So that means #1, they are going to go up against Gamuso in that grand final. Iraq versus United States of America. Now Gamuso will try their best to shut down #1.
Alright, so we will be opening up our YouTube giveaway in just a bit, but for now, let's sort out our Mob Crush giveaway. So, our Mob Crush winner will be Gruff. Please post your dog tag and platform. Congratulations. Our last giveaway will be on YouTube today, so let me just get that updated, because that link, it always changes every single time, dealers. What's up with that? Huh? Huh?
I don't know.
Man, why? I put this question to you and to the chat. Why doesn't YouTube just have a set link for live streams that you link? Yeah, that's the link you go to if you want to watch somebody stream. But then once it's saved, it goes to a different link.
I don't know. It's weird. Obviously, YouTube could be able to actually compete with Twitch as the main streaming platform, but well, there are some things that they need to figure out before that will happen.
Alright guys, so updated details on the last giveaway of the day on YouTube. So do bear in mind the giveaway is run by Nightbot, a terrifying creature beyond imagination. Do drop in the hashtag files, but be aware, if you displease Nightbot, it will throw away your entry, and one of those ways to displease the Nightbot is to enter in multiple times. You only need to do it once. Nightbot records absolutely everything automatically. It is infallible, and this is also the most terrifying thing in this life or the next.
Are you sure that upsetting Nightbot is the most terrifying thing you can think of?
Well, unless you've got some other ideas, Deedless.
You know what? I've seen a lot of horror movies. I can think of some more scary things.
Oh, before I forget, actually, speaking of horror movies, that's what reminded me. We had this discussion before about Frankenstein, the team who've just sadly gone. So I want to say this while this is still marginally relevant. We were discussing the idea of using the name Frankenstein to refer to Frankenstein's monster, as opposed to Dr. Frankenstein. Apparently, from what I'm reading here on Wikipedia, apparently usage commentators regard it as well established and acceptable. So there you go, if someone gets up in your case about saying Frankenstein's the monster, dude, you can say, well, Wikipedia said it was cool.
Yeah, Frankenstein is not the monster, that's the doctor, right?
Yes, but as I was saying, you can get away with using it in the way to refer to the monster, because it's just been used so many times now that it's like, you know, who cares? Fine. Pedants don't always win.
Fair enough, but I still think that being completely smart about which which guy is a monster and which is the doctor should be the way to go. So don't say Frankenstein if you're referring to the monster.
I thought you were going to say, don't at me, bro.
Don't at me, bro. Nah, don't aim me if you disagree.
Definitely, Deedless is just crying out to be tagged there, so if you disagree...
Don't tag me in the chat if you disagree.
If you want to tag Deedless on the ESL Wonder Combat Discord and tell him about your favourite movie monsters, then I'm sure he'll be very pleased.
My favorite movie monster is Peter Counterfeit Hartnell.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, my favorite movie monster is a bottle of gin.
What?
Alright guys, so we'll be getting things kicked off again in just a few moments more, but while we've got a chance, let's do something a little bit different, and let's bring the band back together and try ourselves out with a Battle Royale. If you guys want to come and play on stream while we wait for our finals to begin, just come and join in the Battle Royale, which is hosting up right now. Deedless, are you prepared to serve as my most excellent coach once again and secure me the turkey sandwich of victory?
Well, only if you can tell me what the most important lesson that I have ever taught you is.
That's tough. There's been so many lessons.
Okay, already here you failed. You have failed, mate.
It's shoot the Deedless jet in the butt.
What? No! Aiming down your sights. Aiming down your sights.
Does that make you feel better?
While
Look,
you're playing, of course.
You see, now your Deedless jet has got lots of air holes, which makes it more aerodynamic. I'm sorry, I think Deedless may have suffered brain death, but it is kind of late. Whoa, okay. We're gonna need to McNam. That's not appropriate. I think Nightbot's actually automatically timed you out anyway, but oh, it's Fuguth. Wow, Fuguth. I would have, based on your well-played MC5, apparently doesn't come across with necessarily the best of manners. So, alright. So, aim down sights. Alas. Where should we drop down?
That is indeed my name. Aim down sightless. Well, I think go to the right side of the airport.
Alrighty, alrighty. Gruff, thank you for your details. Alright, so we're gonna grab ourselves some bits and pieces. Oh gosh. We didn't last very long, jeez. Alright, well, let's try that again.
Impressive stuff, Peter. You at least you didn't end as the final one.
We weren't dead last, but we were dead first. Well, almost.
Well,
gosh.
second dead first.
The deaderest. Well, we were second best at something at least. Gruff, thank you for your details. So, Mob Crush giveaway very much officially open. I'm going to moat you down in the old spreadsheet-a-ringo. So, our last giveaway will run for the duration of the Grand Finals, but let's jump into another Battle Royale and hopefully not get shot and or stabbed in the butt immediately.
I'm crossing my fingers for you to not fail me this time.
I'm crossing my butt.
Why would you crush your butt?
So it doesn't get stabbed.
That's true. Good point. But I would much rather have you not just douche out immediately.
Well, I mean, the big problem I had in the last game was I was so busy crossing my butt that I didn't have any hands on my iPad.
Well, how about you just actually play well, pupil? That you actually don't...
What do you call me?
Pretend. You're my pupil, boy.
Oh, I thought you said pupil. I thought it was an inappropriate nickname. Alright, So do you think we should go back to the airport, given how poorly that ended out for us last time?
Yes.
Subway made a life counter for us, which was, I think, yes, 9 seconds. Thank you, Subway. You're the best. Alright, let's give it another go. So, what can we do this time to not get shot in the butt?
Well, shoot the other guy in the butt. Come on, eat him, knife him, knife it. Well, you could also just kill him.
Alright, you probably want to get out of here. Given that that will have, you know, without any silencers or anything, that will have led us to show up on the map for everybody. We can't actually get back into... Oh, actually, we could go up on top of this stuff. There's quite a lot of stuff up here. Do you see? I won't say quite a lot of stuff. Some stuff. Yep. I think that's probably all we're going to get. So where do we go, coach?
Inside the circle.
Alright, we're there.
And now you stay here. No, pull out your sniper, look for people, because you're in a very open space and people will surely be looking for you.
This doesn't feel like a great place to fight from.
Well, run inside the airport and look for more stuff.
Alright, we'll keep our sniper rifle out because we're so far away from anyone.
Well, also your compact isn't that good of a weapon. At least without attachments.
I don't think it's ever really that good of a weapon, honestly. Did we get tagged there?
Touché.
Ooh.
Tier 3 armor.
There are tears coming from my eyes.
Tier 3 armor.
There's so much good stuff inside the terminal, but nobody ever goes and gets it. It's like the stuff in here suggests that they think people are going to be in here all the time. Because there's like multiple people's worth of stuff here. But yeah, you can, if you play this on your own, just pretty much always go in here because there's always masses of stuff. Okay, let's gear up.
Good job, pupil. You are a faithful student who have not died yet. I am proud of you that you has not died.
Ah.
Or have not died.
Subway, yes, we're playing on an iPad Pro at the moment, which is pretty good. It seems to have very good loading times. I think we can probably go and pick up some stuff from over here without falling victim to getting caught by the circle. Hopefully not too many other people are in here. So, dealers, if you were going to buy a house on this particular piece of property, which one would you buy?
The fort, obviously.
Ah.
Because then you're in the middle of everything. And I love being in the middle. I love being the guy in the center. That's why I'm a color caster. So everyone has to listen to me. Well, a caster first of all. Well, why are you shooting when he's just running away from you? Stop wasting your ammo, mate.
I really need to find a more rapid fire weapon, because anything which is...
You need to not suck.
Alright.
Did you just blind yourself?
No.
I'm giving up on you.
Probably for the best. Alright, they shouldn't let me near a shouldn't let me near anything which is semi-automatic. Slip and slide count of it. Ooh. Gruff, don't try and give me credits. I don't need credits. Okay. We got to number 10.
You killed 0 people.
I hit 5 of them though. Alright, one more time. So, I mean, we tried to aim down sights. In that case, because I was flying through the air, I think it kind of messed me up a bit.
I don't think you have any excuses for being so bad.
I don't need an excuse. This is just
you
the way I live my life.
You don't need an excuse to be bad?
Ah.
Well, why are you bad then?
I don't play on iPad very much. Though,
Sure.
to be fair, I'm not very good on PC either.
That's an excuse for being bad. Well, to be fair, Peter, you've always been the one who's been better at like card games than I have.
Well, that's because I've been playing a lot of card games.
Yeah, well, I haven't. Impressive stuff.
Well, I'm very sad that there are no motorcycles in this one, so we can't play any card games on them.
Ooh. Motorcycles.
What would you guys think about a MC5 collectible card game? Is that a thing people would want? I wouldn't think so. But, you know, it never hurts to ask.
Yeah. You're not going to get anywhere if you don't.
Well, if only the Hauser was in this game so I could fire it forever and never actually kill anyone. Alright, so where are we going to land, Coach, Scope Face?
Let's go to West Compound. We don't go there very often. But
Should we go for upper or lower?
Lower.
Okie dokie doke. Abhishek Verma, calling me a noob? How outrageous. Tier 2 armor, it's not too shabby, not too shabby. We still don't actually have a gun. Oh, well, I guess it's better than a pistol.
Yeah. But we do want a sniper rifle. If you can find an imp, then that is great.
You see some people over there, probably don't want to get into a scrap with them. Oh, this is some good stuff. Well, ask and you shall receive. So, all we need is...
Oh, did you find an imp?
Yeah.
Nice, good job. Well, you are now my favorite student.
Gosh! Suck it down, all of the other students.
Until you die, of course. Which is in a matter of, what, like seconds?
Well, I've got myself a bigger clip for the imp, which is pretty significant. We got ourselves a decent amount of stuff.
Well, you also need to be able to actually land the shots, so...
Yeah, that's... I feel like that's a big hole in the strategy here. Which is why, as again, I shouldn't be allowed weapons which don't have a automatic fire. Because I'm never going to hit anyone.
I don't think you should be allowed to have a weapon in the first place.
I think it's a danger to society.
No, you're dangerous to yourself.
Excellent, Bosk. Perfect. Let's get this all done up. Oh, cool. We got pretty much some nice stuff for it.
Yeah.
So we've got our close range weapon, we've got a long range weapon. Now we just need to find people to murder.
Okay, let's go find some kills, Peter. And immediately as I said that, he ran into a house. Nice.
I was trying to kill the property prices. I'm so used to firing automatic weapons where I can just fire and adjust. There we go, coming up above this. Okie doke. I thought we did pretty well there. What I was doing there was I was using the terrain to block line of sight as I came up on that player. It worked pretty well. I think I've got to really... Like, I don't spend enough time playing as a sniper to really ever learn how to snipe properly. But I probably should. And maybe one day I'll actually be okay at sniping.
Well, one day I think you'll actually win a battle royale in MC5. But that day is probably not today. And probably not within the foreseeable future.
Gosh, well, I'd say stick to the coaching and not to the cheerleading.
I promise not to, because I simply cannot cheer on someone like you.
Oh boy. Well, if anyone's looking for a coach, Big Gorilla, oh, I accidentally avenged you. How do you know it was an accident, Big Gorilla?
What?
Everything I do with a purpose. Yes, as much as the Battle Royale mode has already been vastly improved recently, I was having some discussions with Purdue, the community manager, before, so there's going to be lots more reusability improvements coming in. So genuinely, I think the MC5 Battle Royale, I know people had a lot of hesitation about it when it first came around, but I genuinely think it's going to end up being pretty good.
And hopefully, once we get some tournaments for it, it's going to be an interesting genre to commentate as well, if we are allowed to commentate on some games of Battle Royale.
Oh, for sure. Actually, this is a temple that people don't ever really go to. I remember getting killed a few times here. It looks really nice, but it's another one of those things where they put a lot of effort into a building that's on the near the outside of the map, and so it doesn't get to see a lot of time, even though it's really nice. Like, this temple could be its own level. Like, I mean, it's a little sparse, but, like, there isn't a huge, like, there's a lot of stuff on the Battle Royale mode which is kind of repeated, because, you know, with this map being so big, there's only so many assets you can have on the map itself. So it's trying to be clever with the way of repeating stuff so it doesn't look like everything's just the same. So there's not that many different textures necessarily, but like maybe different combinations of those same textures in clever ways. And like, you know, for the rock, for example, that's very low poly rock. You know, it's not got many surfaces in it, but people don't spend a lot of time looking at the rocks. So it's a fairly sensible thing to not invest a lot of memory in making sure the rocks look nice.
Yeah. And considering that we are playing on iPads and Androids, you don't have like the biggest processors in those devices, so it's also something about performance.
Yeah, I'm amazed that Battle Royale games work on...
Oh, did you see someone?
I did.
Oh, southeast.
Oh, hello.
He's shooting at you. Aim down your sights. Move! And then run away. Remember to aim down your sights, student.
Oh, hello. Someone firing who's aiming away from us. I like the sound of that.
Next time, pull out your sniper. You have an imp. Nice, Peter. You're doing well.
Yeah, well, the speed boost I figured would. I misjudged. They actually managed to back off far enough, but I was trying to use the speed boost to get around behind them because I'd be going a bit faster than they anticipate. We really need armor now because we have pretty much run dry. So one of the things that actually is a little bit different about this than other Battle Royales is that the armor counts against the blue zone. But let's pick up a lot of stuff. Oh, we got loads of med kits, so we're probably in a good space. So a general Battle Royale strategy is to stick in the blue zone and then just hang out for as long as possible not fighting people. So what we can do here is just go around the furthest possible edge of the blue zone, because this is where it's least likely people will be.
Well, how about this guy? Doesn't he have any armor? No, he does not. Well, you need to find someone else with armor. Also, Peter, I think we might have a... yeah, we do have our pass key, so finish up this game as soon as possible. Go find the last 4 people to kill.
Alright, just gonna go plow into the middle of the map. Oh, there we go, there's some armor. Not the best, but doable. Let's just run around until someone shoots us. Oh, there we go, some slightly wonky tier 3 armor. I'm not sure if that's better or worse, honestly. Oh, we get some new tier 3 armor. Alright, let's just fire a bunch. I'll throw grenades around, hopefully draw some attention.
Well...
Hey, it worked!
Pull out the imp, mate. Pull out the imp. Or, yeah, just keep the bosk and remember to aim down your sights. Check those corners. Nice. Good job. Don't stand still for too long.
Yep, there they are. Ah!
Pop the speed boost. Pop the speed boost behind you.
Oh, there they are.
Did you just blind yourself again? Nice. Okay, it's a 1v1. 1v1. Oh, can you do this, Peter? Peter. That's
yes!
a turkey. That is a turkey dinner for you, Peter. Holy hell.
It's all thanks to me. It was me the whole time. No, thank you for the coaching during that game. So, YouTube giveaway is in progress. Yeah, I don't know how much. I always wonder how much of a difference Big Gorilla has made in any one of my Battle Royale games. He keeps following me around, killing everyone who's trying to kill me. Which is honestly outrageous. Right, so we've got our pass key for the finals. Let's jump into that as soon as we can. Looks like the players are pretty much ready to go, so we're using up very little time getting in here. So what have we got? Let's just double check our teams again, since my mind is awash with the thoughts of the finals. So we've got Gamuzo versus Frankenstein. Excellent.
Because of an admin decision, we are not going to be seeing number 1 move into the grand final. It is instead going to be Frankenstein.
Well, guys, do be aware if you're playing in the ESL tournament, do keep a close eye on the rules in this. So there's a few things which may not be incredibly obvious if you don't check the info panel. For example, the concussion grenades being banned, the Sixth Sense core being banned, the Marauder, and of course the more obvious stuff like tier 4 and 5 armors, as well as all the prestige weapons and self-aiming guns. Well, now though, we have a final to consider, a best of 5 coming up in just a few moments' time. So guys, stay tuned. We shall return as soon as all our players are ready to begin this best of 5. Meow meow, said the cat to the mouse. Frankenstein versus Gamuzo. But who shall be the cat and who the mouse? And a cornered mouse is a dangerous mouse, and so many things consider that perhaps this metaphor wasn't even worth visiting at all.
Well, I'm sure one of these teams are going to be a dog who's going to be chasing a cat. Because one of these teams will be slaughtered here in this first game of this grand final.
Early exchange of kills looks pretty even. Remember Dumbo from much before? An interesting choice of name, not necessarily the most threatening of all the Disney characters. I mean, Dealers, if you were trying to think back, if you were trying to make a threatening name to put fear into the part of the enemies, but you also wanted it to be a Disney character, can you think of which one it might be?
If I need to find someone who's crazily evil and scary.
Yeah.
Probably the bad guy from what's it called? The one that takes place in Paris.
The Hunchback of Notre Dame?
Yes.
That takes place in Notre Dame. Hence the name.
Wait. Notre Dame is I think doesn't it take place at the Notre Dame Church in Paris?
Oh, maybe. Well, let's get back to the game itself. Yes. Maybe you guys can do a bit of research for us as we expose our geographical ignorance, or at least perhaps I do. Apollo. That's who I was actually researching before. So, for any of you guys who are not into your mythology, Apollo, a Greek and Roman god, who And the Greek Roman goals covered quite a few different fields, but Apollo kind of known, I suppose, mostly for medicine and healing. An ironic choice with Apollo, who's dealing out so much death.
Gamaso. Wait, no, it is Gamuso, sorry. They are really playing the cat and mouse game here in this first game of the grand final. Gamuso coming out, swinging out of the gates, showing that they are the dog that will be killing the cat. But Apollo, he's been carrying his team quite heavily, with him finding 11 kills.
Yeah, extremely impressive performance so far for the Frankensteins. Yet to find their own breakout player. Very close score between all of them. But yeah, we can almost read the successes of the Gamuso team just off of Smiley and Apollo. Real nice stuff for them. Let's take a quick look, actually, take a little dive into our history here. Check on Gamuso, who are looking extremely good right now. The team from the USA playing in the red today. This is only their second tournament playing as this lineup. And last time round they were knocked out by #1 in their second round. Now getting a chance to shine without #1 being here to hold them down.
Gamuso, they are very looking like the strong team here. They are looking like the super team in this MC5 tournament. Now, with a 13 kill lead, are looking to finish this this first game before we even reach the 3-minute mark.
They're really impressive stuff. I think Gamuso just hadn't had a chance to show off, but with players like MIT and Smiley, certainly while the team itself may be new, made up of at least some very strong veteran talent. We can see here MIT and Apollo and Smiley all putting on a very, very strong performance. But yes, we can't get away from Apollo, even as Takashi picks up the last kill. A 19 kill advantage for Gamuso shows their dominance in the first game of the finals.
Well played by the entire lineup of Gamuso, but we must highlight how well played Apollo, MIT, and his team member. I can't quite see the name. I think it's Takashi.
Yes.
How well they have played. 14, 11, and 10 kills respectively. What a performance.
Real impressive stuff. So the YouTube giveaway remains in place. #finals into the YouTube comments if you want to enter for your chance at 300 Creditorinos. For now, we'll be getting set up for the next game and coming up with as many Disney villains as we can. Big Gorilla's most terrified of Scar from The Lion King. That's a classy choice, Big Gorilla. Scar, I don't think is as individually terrifying as some of the other ones, but is probably one of the smarter Disney villains, so
you know
intellectual choice.
I figured out what the name of the antagonist from The Hunchback of Notre Dame is.
Yeah?
His name is Claude Frollo.
Yes, Frollo.
He's scary. I remember being afraid of him back when I was a kid, and I watched The Hunchback of Notre Dame for the first time.
You should be. I've got nieces and nephews, and I would not show them The Hunchback of Notre Dame. There's some stuff in there which is obviously aimed at kids. Lindsay Ellis does a fantastic job of breaking this down on her YouTube channel. But there's some stuff in there which is obviously aimed at young kids, and The Hunchback has got like the Hellfire song is like super terrifying as a kid, and I think the whole movie honestly is not really, it's not really a child-friendly story in any way.
But I'm looking at the Wikipedia page for the novel of The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Oh, yeah.
First up, it is set in Paris in 1482, but apparently it's 3 volumes.
Ooh.
940 pages.
So you're saying it's potentially prequel territory?
Oh yeah. Well, I think there is a prequel, right? There's a Hunchback of Notre Dame too.
So wait, so what happens in the different books then? Is it just the same story stretched out, or?
I have no idea. I thought it was just one book.
There's also a musical apparently. So
Peter,
let's have a look.
We need to explore this unexplored territory.
Let's see. So
it's a ballad as well. Huh. Is it a video game? It's a video game.
Oh yeah, I'd expect so.
There's an arcade game from 1983 called Hunchback.
Oh, interesting. So apparently, in the book version of Hunchback of Notre Dame, Esmeralda is the protagonist, which I don't know if that's necessarily the case in the film version. I think it's more set from the Hunchback's point of view. Quasimodo.
I think that's more because it's a kids movie, right? It tries to at least look like a kids movie. So I think having the point of view come from Quasimodo and his like redemption story about how he becomes a free individual is much more childish.
I think, if memory serves, the big thing which is different from the novel to the novel.
Have you read the novel?
No, but I've heard about it. Is that Quasimodo isn't necessarily a good guy, or like anywhere near as cut and dry a good guy. So yeah, if any of you guys listening here today want to get your read on, I would definitely recommend checking out The Hunchback of Notre Dame. It's one of those things that, you know, being there's a movie out, you would kind of think, oh, I know this story, but you don't. I also recommend checking out Lindsay Ellis's video on the subject because it's very, very good. Whew.
Well, since we're talking about books to movie adaptations,
yeah.
Peter and I, we talked about The Lord of the Rings earlier today.
Did we? I mean, yes, sure.
Yesterday we did. Not today, but yesterday. About how story building is so crazily interesting. Like, building up a world in your books is so hard. I feel like when I watch The Lord of the Rings, I know the story in The Lord of the Rings, but there's so much lore behind The Lord of the Rings. Like, I have no idea about the languages in Middle-earth, about what Gandalf really is. Because I know he's like a divine being, right? But he's not really the most divine being. And
he's a Maya, which is, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but it's, yeah, there's like a race of, yes, if you read the Silmarillion, for your Lord of the Rings stuff, you find out that, like, the wizards are all demigods, the Maya, or Maya, I'm not sure how you say it. And so they're actually, like, you know, they are literally not humans, which is why they are kind of, like, I guess the excuse for why they're so ridiculously overpowered compared to everybody else. I think in the movies it's not really a thing, but it definitely is in the books. But yeah, you're right, there's a lot you can read. Oh, there you go. Gandalf was originally named, Alorin? Before leaving the Undying Lands. So I think they came up from the Undying Lands and headed there. Gosh, we're getting quite deep into Lord of the Rings lore, because they don't mention any of this stuff in the book. Sorry, the movies at all.
No, they don't. I think we started out talking about a different book. Can you remember which one it was?
We were talking about Hunchback, and then...
Oh, no, but before we started talking about the Lord of the Rings...
I didn't even remember we talked about Lord of the Rings yesterday, let alone what we talked about before it.
Alright.
So, I'll put this question to you. Actually, let's... Google's most asked questions. So, let's throw this up for Doodless and for the chat itself, because it's always good for a laugh. So... What do you think is the most asked question on Google?
Oh, that's hard.
It's actually semi-guessable.
Semi-guessable?
In terms of it's logical why it would be the most asked question. I suppose it's not like something random.
Can I get a hint?
It is, okay, well, it's what is my, and then...
Okay, what is my IQ?
Pretty close, but not right.
Okay, what is it?
It's what is my IP.
Okay, that's actually pretty... That's really smart.
Because having the IP checker is a pretty good way, if you're in the technical circles, to be able to find out your IP. If you're not very technically inclined, but you need to know what your IP is for whatever reason, Google, you just type it in and it tells you. Subway, why don't you guys stream with Facecam? I just don't necessarily think it would add too much to routines, but if enough people wanted us to do it, and perhaps we were incentivized with some delicious stuff, like, you know, cake and pie, then maybe it would. We are, I think, actually, oh no, I think we're just about to get our next key.
It's looking like we will at least. Soldier Girl. Oh no. Wait, did we?
Okay.
We have our key.
I apologize. That was confused. I thought it was an old key that we saw there. So we'll be jumping into our next finals game in just a second. I think the players have been waiting for us. And we'll be heading on to Vantage.
Good old Vantage. Let's
All
see if
right.
Frankenstein, they can bite back now that Gamuso, they won so heavily in game 1.
Alright, alright, alright.
Why are you, like, making this Matthew McConaughey impression all the time?
Because it's fun to do.
Alright, alright, alright.
Alright, alright, alright. Our grand finals continues as game 2 begins. The fresh, wide open air of Vantage, the clawing smell of death in the inside. Which one of these players will be our Frollo and which our Quasimodo? We shall find out. Of course, Fort will take the first kill with nary a thought.
I'm looking forward to seeing how Gamuso will play on this map, because we know that they love to play fast and just come out with those assaults and the recons, but this map is much more favored towards those snipers because of its openness, because of there not being so many close corridors where the recons and the assault rifles they work. You can already see here on the minimap how Gamuso is all the way over to the east and Frankenstein all the way over to the west, and both these teams are looking for those sniper shots, but there still are a few recons and assault rifles between the Gamuso lineup.
Yeah, looking around, you got the right of it. The Gamuso's trying to bring a bigger variety. So we've got heavies, we've got recons, and I believe we might even have a few. So 3 snipers, a recon, and a heavy. Actually, that might be something I'll ask. I don't know if there's time to put it in for this patch. Maybe if we get a class indicator on each of the people's portraits, that'd be pretty neat. And that would probably fit in relatively easily. To be able to see what someone's team composition is at a glance. But for now, Frankenstein have got themselves the first kill so far.
Well, they've also gotten the next 3 kills here. Frankenstein are not in a bad position at all. Like Gamuso, they are the ones that have the pressure on them as they are behind in kills, looking to try and get in onto Frankenstein, to try and get in onto that west compound. Here Gamuso and Apollo finds a sniper shot, but it is certainly not enough quite yet. You want to just try and go and rush down Frankenstein with your recon and your assaults, but Frankenstein, they're keeping Gamuso at an arm's length.
It's working out pretty darn well for them so far. So Frankensteins found themselves in a pretty commanding lead early on, especially with the confined spaces leading into the central part of Vantage. They can really abuse Gamuso as they try and rejig this game to put themselves back on equal footing.
Frankenstein, they will want to win this game. If they lose this game, it's going to be 2-0 for Gamuso, and it makes it harder for Frankenstein to have a shot at winning this grand final.
Yeah, gonna be very tough times for Frankenstein if they can't keep up this early aggression, but so far they're showing no signs of slowing whatsoever. We sometimes do see these in the best of 5 series. The first game going over to one team relatively convincingly, but that lighting a fire under the opposing side for the rest of the series as they realize that losing is not only a distinct possibility but has already happened.
Yeah, and now for Frankenstein in this game, it's not looking very... Sorry, for Frankenstein it's looking good. It's for Gamuso it's not looking good at all. Again, Gamuso, it's looking like they thrive on maps where they can move in close to Frankenstein, where they can just get all up in the face of their opponents. And here on advantage. That's not exactly the case.
Yeah, certainly not if you're being held out of the central position, but honestly, Frankenstein putting on an absolute clinic so far. You can see their team manager, Bleach, so far with a perfect game with his imp. Only 4 kills means they've been playing it out cautiously, but unless players like Apollo for the side of Gamuzo can start pulling off something seriously impressive, we're going to see an even series.
For now, Frankenstein are on an absolute tear. Helix comes in, finds a kill onto Apollo. Gamuzo are 11 kills behind, 2 minutes and 40 seconds left to go. It's looking like a dire situation for Gamuzo, and if they want to find their way back here in this grand final, they're going to have to put up quite a performance.
Gamuzo's starting to equalize a little bit, but I think the damage by far has already been done in this open, well, in the second game of the finals. The gap's starting to narrow, but I don't think it's going to be anywhere close to being finished by the time this game is done.
Oh, Gamuzo comes in with a last rush of a few kills. Still behind 8 kills overall. So it's not done and dusted yet, but Frankenstein are currently very far ahead, and Gamuzo will have to put up, again as I said before, quite a performance to really fight their way back.
Over the 40 mark, will be signaling the end. The bell doth toll for Gamuzo, signaling the end of their hopes of running a clean sweep through this grand finals. Let's look at the numbers. So it is fought once again, bringing up the big guns for Frankenstein. And if memory serves, I believe there was a Frankenstein movie where they shot guns at people, but I don't think anyone saw it. So does it count if nobody saw it? I don't know.
I've never heard about a movie where Frankenstein wears a shotgun, or wields a shotgun rather. But I'm sure it could be a fun movie nonetheless. But now Frankenstein, they fight back. It's 1-1, guys, here in this grand final, so we're not done quite yet.
Yeah, we have got ourselves at least a 4-game series, which of course we are 2 games through. We could go all the way to Game 5 if we get lucky. For now though, guys, we're getting set up for our 3rd game, our turning point of the grand finals, which will be coming up in just a few minutes time, so don't go anywhere, and make sure, if you haven't already, to put your entry in on YouTube for our giveaway, which will conclude when the finals are over. See you guys in a few minutes. Welcome, welcome, one and all. Game number 3 of our Grand Finals is here. Myself and Dealers gonna bring you all the way through to the end here today. Frankenstein staying over in the blue where they're most comfortable. And Gamuzo gonna look in the red.
Frankenstein, they won the last game. They are alive. Gamuzo, they were extremely good in game 1, but just these sniper heavy maps are simply not favoring them. And now with us being here on yet again another sniper heavy map, Scramble, they will have quite a task ahead of them.
We now know that both of these teams capable of taking a game off the other, just what we like to see in our Grand Finals. The entire idea of tournaments like this is to try and bring together the two very best teams by the end of all of the stages, and it seems like we've managed to succeed this time around with neither team able to claim firm victory over the other so far, but whoever wins out here will be then one game away from claiming the finals for themselves.
So we do have at least 2 more games overall. That is what Peter is trying to say between Gamuzo and Frankenstein. Next up, it is going to be us going on to the streets. So a much more Gamuzo favorite map, but for now, they are keeping up quite well with Frankenstein. Can you pull up the map, Counterfeit? So looking here, you can see how Gamuzo, they are forcing Frankenstein to play to Gamuzo's style. They have to come to them. They have to go get up close and personal. So Gamuzo just staying down at the south hangar means that Frankenstein can't quite use those sniper rifles.
MIT really the standout player for Gamuzo in this game, 4-1 so far, providing pinpoint accuracy from afar while the rest of the Gamuzo team run interference and make sure that MIT can do their work uninterrupted.
11-9, Frankenstein are now starting to pull themselves ahead after finding a few kills onto Gamuzo, and now that means that Frankenstein, they can pull back and don't have to play to Gamuzo's style.
All needs to watch out for, and for praise to the Helix, doing a fantastic job for the Frankenstein side, but Dumbo apparently noticing that we haven't been talking about them on making Disney jokes for a while, is stepping up for the Frankenstein side. Sorry, the Gamuzo side.
I am quite surprised that Dumbo, as a big-ass elephant, knows how to use a knife, Peter, let alone a gun.
Well, every civilized elephant will know how to use some kind of eating implement, whether it be knife, fork, chopsticks, or... I'm trying to think offhand. I'm very ill-cultured, I don't know many.
How does an elephant even wield a gun with its, like, trunk?
Do you be surprised how, how much stuff an elephant can do with a trunk? It is prehensile, so it can, there's a lot of stuff it can do. I don't think elephants really... They do use tools, but so far, Dumbo not doing necessarily enough to warrant this much talk about them. Let's find ourselves. So it's going to be
Apollo.
Helix. Yes, Apollo.
Apollo is doing quite well, finding 10 kills on his own, but has died 7 times as well. So not necessarily the performance you want to see from your top performer.
Well, taking down Helix, that's a decent start, but we'll be about to run into multiple Frankenstein members who will be able to find revenge very swiftly. Avacol doing a nice job, though, lurking down towards the bottom end of the scoreboard. That kill-death ratio pretty solid right now. And with the Imp, he's going to get attacked from multiple sides. Needs the rest of the team to back up this Frankenstein member a little bit out on the limb, and they'll get punished for it.
Gamuzo are behind by 3 kills. Now Frankenstein being so ahead, having those 3 kills in the lead, does mean that Gamuzo are pressured quite heavily, but oh, that's a big resurgence of kills, and now it's an even game. Frankenstein, they are not going to win this without a fight.
It's whatever happens, it's going to be swift and violent. Both teams giving each other an excellent run for their money. We're seeing the heavies coming out here, not a class we really would have expected to see, as Takashi just finds their way, threads their way through the Frankenstein team and picks up a bunch of kills. Bleach comes in from the side, but it's going to go down to these last few moments as both teams not giving each other any quarter.
Tagaski finds kill Dumbo, and Apollo also finds those kills. And Gamuso, they are so close, but so is Frankenstein. Who can find the last kill? Gamuso, one more is all they need, but so does Frankenstein. And ultimately, Frankenstein, they find that last kill, pick up 50 kills on their own, and they will go 2-0. So they will go 2-1 up here in this grand final.
Very impressive stuff, and goes to show, if your team is getting it, if it's all coming down to the last thing, just one kill from either side, you can swing it. And I wasn't sure who was going to win all the way through there, but ultimately Frankenstein hung tough for just the half second or so longer than Gamuso were able to.
One more game could very well be the deciding factor in this grand final. Gamuso, they can't afford to lose one more game, but as I said in the beginning of that last game, Streets favors Gamuso. It is more about getting up close and personal. It's more about the assaults and the recons, not so much about the snipers.
You guys in the chat, wow, what a fantastic game number 3. Hopefully we're going to go all the way through to game number 5, because these two teams have decided they are going to give us absolutely everything. For now though, stay tuned. YouTube giveaway stays alive as long as the finals do. And if I had my way, D-List, they would fight forever. For now though, please do stay tuned, for we shall return Soldier Girl and our good selves will make sure of it. See you guys in just a little bit. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This could be our last game of the evening if Frankenstein can pull off one more time, but we saw it was only a single kill separating. And Deedless, well, the Deedless money is on Gamuso in game number 4 on the streets.
I think Gamuso should be able to pick up a victory here. This is much more their favorite map. It's much more about getting up close. It's much more about those fast-paced action. But Frankenstein, it's looking like they're going to bury themselves. But oh no, they're coming out here. They want to find that action.
Yeah, some pretty brutal exchanges. High explosives flying all over the streets. You can see here Smiley and the rest of both teams trying to set themselves up ideally with the position in the middle, which is, you know, it's a strange thing to think when there's so many entrances to the middle part of the map, but it's actually a reasonably good defensive position as long as you've got the most high explosives.
Yes, that is obviously true, counterfeit, and that's why we're seeing the Slack 7H coming out here for Gamuso with that grenade launcher, which essentially is a rocket launcher. You can put down a lot of AoE damage, and that is why Gamuso have been able to just control that middle forward for so long now.
MIT, we remember them from before, the fire support for the Gamuso side, a very consistent player. Right in the center of things as Gamuso looks to try and establish themselves up here, and it's certainly seeming like you called it right, Deedless. Gamuso are dominating with this more chaotic style in the very close confines of the center of the map.
They are much more on a tear this time around. As I said, their playstyle is aggressiveness and fast-paced action. And Frankenstein, they're simply looking lost. They're simply looking like a team that can't keep up.
It's all Gamuso so far. Gonna need to see a real change of approach if there's any chance of Frankenstein bringing this one back and closing out the series here, but everything we've seen so far seems to suggest that it's all Gamuso all the time. Museum will be our destination for the final game, and I don't know how comfortable you feel on making the prediction for the Museum between the two, but do you have a strong feeling the same way that you've had for the Streets?
Oh yes, I would say Museum also favors Gamuso. It is, again, not a map that favors a lot of snipers, but I can see that in the long corridors of the Museum that Frankenstein should be able to perhaps find a few sniper kills here and there. But for now, Gamuso, they are driving quite heavily in this close quarters confine of the streets.
MIT and Smiley both doing some real nice jobs. I mean, you mentioned before, you always have to pull on the different strengths of the team if you want to come out ahead on these different maps, and MIT and Smiley both performing extremely well. Smiley with the heavy, MIT actually bring out the recon with a Bramson as well. That's not one we see too often, but in close quarters, a Bramson can be deadly.
The Bramson is good enough here. MIT picking out the Bramson, as you said. Now that is an interesting weapon, as we don't see it very often. 45 kills for Gamuso, 35 for Frankenstein. The Bramson, the submachine gun, might just making the difference here.
It's been a while since we've seen the Bramson in play, and perhaps some of you guys can help us as Gamuso tie things up 2-2. But I believe the Bramson did receive some nerfs back in, well, quite a while ago to take it out of general usage. But still getting a little bit of a lease of life here as Gamuso lock down game number 2. Extremely impressive stuff. MIT, the rising star for the Gamuso side. And Dealers has already called it, thinks Gamuso are going to take game number 3. Let us know, guys, in the chat if you agree or disagree and why. As we said, Museum will be our final destination of the day with 2 games apiece. Only one team can come out ahead. We'll find out who it's going to be after the break. Deedless,
Kind of it.
we've built ourselves up quite a tournament today. This is the tip of the iceberg, the tip of the glacier, you might say, but all of the games that have come before, all of the teams that have come before, invisible from where we stand, but from where I stand, Deedless, the glacier, it's about to...
Sure, I think Frankenstein and Gamuso, they're ready to fight each other here on the museum, and I have my money on Gamuso, because this map is so much about getting up close and personal. And Gamuso right now, they have 3 kills, whereas Frankenstein, they're currently only rocking 2.
2 games apiece, barely any kills to get themselves sorted out. MIT still performing extremely well for the Gamuso side, who are now over in the red. Up by Big Head right now, the defensive position for Gamuso, pretty good. You've got these 2 corridors which lead into the central point, but there's a lot of cover for Gamuso to take advantage of, and the relatively unique mechanic on this one of having the glass display cases which provide decent amount of cover while still allowing sight through them.
Damn, Apollo and MIT are doing quite a work here for Gamuso, finding so many kills. Can you take a look at the scoreboard counterfeit? Because I think Apollo and MIT, having found 3 kills for their team, has made sure that Gamuso can stay competitive with Frankenstein.
Yeah, 11-11. What we're hoping to see is this one go all the way down to the last kill, to hark back to previous games. Of course, this does keep the spectre up. If these games go as close as they are threatening to, it kind of becomes hard to say that all this really proves is that on a given day, that the team is just one team is just a tiny bit better than the other. But that's all it takes. You can win by 10 points, you can win by 1 point, but the important thing is that you won.
It's all about teamwork and about how you communicate together as a team. These 2 guys, Gamuso and Frankenstein, however, as a team, as 2 teams, are doing quite a well job at keeping up with each other. But Gamuso, we know when they can play fast-paced, that they tend to run off with the ball, and it's looking to be the same story here on the museum, with Frankenstein falling 5 kills behind, and MIT and Apollo having the time of their life.
Xerxes providing some critique in the chat for our players here today. What's one of the interesting things about this whole experience here with the Mortal Kombat 5 streams? We know that the people playing, the people watching, there's a lot of extremely skilled players in the audience, and sometimes people can maybe just not necessarily have the strongest mechanics, but the teamwork itself will be enough to carry them through.
Well, for Gamuso, teamwork is certainly carrying them through counterfeit. They have 31 kills. Frankenstein, they have 23. And that difference between these 2 teams just means that Gamuso are sitting so far ahead. 3 minutes and 38 seconds left to go. Frankenstein, they might just lose the grand final right here because they can't keep up with Gamuso, with Apollo and MIT, who currently have 10 and 9 kills respectively.
Bleach providing some support for the Frankenstein side, but yes, it's looking like very much unlike what we were hoping for. This grand final is going heavily in Gamuso's favour, just not at all what we expected, based on how new the team is and how little time they've had to develop that teamwork which they're going to be relying on. Instead, just raw talent and ability bringing them this far.
A lot of kills, at least for Gamuso, is what is keeping them afloat. They have shown that as a team, they just find better than Frankenstein, that they always cover each other whenever they're going in for kills. Now Gamuso, 2 more kills is what they need to pick up this victory to call themselves the champions of today's iOS Cup. 1 more counterfeit.
It's going to be all over so very soon. Fort puts up those final few kills. That says Noctis. Frankenstein looking to buy themselves a little bit of warm feeling as this game closed out, but Gamuso have absolutely dominated, and it's Dumbo flapping those big old ears and securing themselves a victory with the final shot across the bow.
Well played by Gamuso against Frankenstein. They won 3 games. Frankenstein won 2. So it's not like Frankenstein didn't put up a good performance, but Gamuso, they just proved to be the better team on those maps where they could play that fast-paced style that they love.
That will mean, along with our tournament winners, Gamuso, for the first time ever, Gamuso taking the crown for themselves. No Name Modern will be our giveaway winner. So No Name Modern, hopefully you are still around. We'll kick off, well actually yeah, we'll go and run a quick battle royale just to kill a little bit of time. Our thanks of course go to Soldier Girl, our admin for today, for keeping everything running nice and smoothly behind the scenes. And for any of you guys who are just heading off now, do remember we will be back in, let's see, how many hours is it? So it's coming up on 3 o'clock, so just over 13 hours with our last tournament of the weekend.
And I am not going to be participating in that broadcast. That is going to be Peter, and if Peter is lucky, then Haxor will be there to join him as well. Else, he's going to be entertaining you guys on his own.
Yes, I believe Haxor will be around for next weekend's monthly finals broadcast, which will be for the first time, I think, in a very long time, iOS and Android players on iOS and PC. I'll get it right, the third time, the third combination of things. Android and PC will be getting their own monthly finals, currently scheduled for next weekend. So if any of you guys are playing on those platforms, then do make sure that you pop along for that. Show your support for the PC and Android monthly finals, and that'll make it much more likely there'll be future ones of them in the future. Again, thanks to Soldier Girl, who's in the chat, so if you want to say thank you and show your appreciation, you are permitted to do so right now, as we carry on shooting the Daedalus jet. Oh, Xerxes, so your question is, on the museum, why is the display cases next to the big head, why do they absorb sniper rounds? And the answer to that question is because the museum is often host to people firing sniper rifles. And so therefore they had to invest in some extremely heavy duty, like tank proof glass casing for their displays, because when they didn't do that, all of their displays would get destroyed by sniper fire. So there you go, Xerxes. Do you think that's a decent answer, Daedalus?
Yeah, I think sometimes, Peter, you can actually come up with a decent answer.
That's why I'm number 1.
Well, talking about being number 1, remember, you actually won the last BR that you played, so you have a big performance, or a high standard to perform to.
Let's just say that, well, I mean, this is something that Battle Royale players, this is why, it's a high iteration game, so you play it a bunch of times in a row, because there's a decent amount of variability in terms of, what kind of stuff do you get, and do you happen to run into someone else who's just got a lot better stuff than you do, who chases you down and murders you because, they just want to. So, I don't know if I can necessarily come first in every single match, but I'm going to come first in this one. Thank you, No Name Modern, for your details. We're going to go for a random spawn here by not choosing anything and see how that works out. Do you think this is a superior strategy, Daedalus?
I think that random spawning is not necessarily the smartest decision, but you got a pretty good spawn right there, down at the airport.
Yeah, I got an amazing spawn. That is probably the best possible outcome that could have been. From spawning randomly. No Name, I've got your details, thank you. Got some armor as well, nice. So we're only really missing out on weapons. I probably don't want to customize this one because I'm not planning on really keeping it. Let's see if we can pick up some more stuff. We usually end up with a lot of grenades. Oh, hello.
Aim for his head, aim for it. Nice. Remember to move around. Remember to move. Pick up some armor. Cool. Now you're protected. Wait, did you even pick up the armor?
Yep.
Okay, well now you are protected. I would pick up that weapon. I think that's a better weapon. So there's a guy there. Oh, over there. Southwest.
Over there. I can't see where you're pointing.
No, southwest. Well, I can't give you the coordinates because I can't see the coordinates on my screen. Wait, what? What are you doing? There we go. Smart. No, don't pick up the compact.
Oh, wait, yeah. Ah!
Kill him. Aim down your sights. Well played, Peter. Even though you didn't aim down your sights.
I was too busy freaking out. But hey, there we go. We're doing alright. We're doing alright. Let's find a place to hide. Well, so, oh gosh, there's another person. Oh man! I was too busy trying to aim down my sights. I shouldn't have aimed down my sights. Well, there you go, guys.
I am disappointed, Peter.
We went from the doghouse. No, wait. From the outhouse to the doghouse? No, those are both bad. I don't know. Well, we came in the top 30? I could have knifed. Oh, there's actually. Well, I don't know, actually. Because that person had a shotgun. I'd probably wanted to try and get as far away from them as possible. That will be it for us today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please do follow Modern Combat on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Mob Crush, and... Did I miss any? Probably. But if you haven't already, please do follow Modern Combat. They do appreciate it. When you do, if you'd like to get more of Daedalus, then you can find him at DaedalusCast on Twitter, and you can find me at CounterfeitCast. I think both of us have got YouTube channels you can find through our YouTube profiles as well, when we type in to there. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will return tomorrow to end out our weekends. Our thanks again to Soldier Girl for her hard work all the way through the stream. And of course, our biggest thanks to you, our wonderful audience, for coming along for the ride. For now though, guys, we shall bid you good night and see you again next time.